I didn't see you here. I was too busy reading and glopping. Oh, hi, welcome to Bookworm again. Today I'm going to review this book which I have been reading, The TWITS. The TWITS is about a couple of twits, as you might know. And if you don't know what the meaning of twit is, I will tell you. Twit means someone very stupid. Although sometimes in this book they have bright ideas. Well, this couple are very beastly to each other. Mr. Twit and Mrs. Twit were not only beastly to everyone else, they were even beastly to each other. Let me tell you a few tricks they played on each other. The glass eye. As you know, you can play a lot of tricks with a glass eye because you can take it out and pop it back again anytime you like. You can bet your life Mrs. Twit knew all the tricks. One morning, she took out her glass eye and dropped it into Mr. Twit's mug of beer when he wasn't looking. Mr. Twit sat there drinking the beer slowly. The froth made a white ring on the hairs around his mouth. He wiped the white froth onto his sleeve and wiped the sleeve on his trousers, plotting something, Mrs. Twit said, keeping her back turned so he wouldn't see that she had taken out her glass eye. Whenever you go all white like that, I know very well you're plotting something. You'd better be careful, Mrs. Twit said, because when I see you starting to plot, I watch you like a wombat. Oh, do shut up, you old hag, Mr. Twit said. Suddenly, as Mr. Twit dripped the last drop of beer down his throat, he caught sight of Mrs. Twit's awful glass eye, staring at him from the bottom of the mug. It made him jump. I told you I was watching you, cackled Mrs. Twit. I've got eyes everywhere, so you'd better be careful. It's funny, but it's kind of cruel, too. The frog. This is the cruelest trick ever played on anyone, but there's an even trick. The frog. To pay her back for the glass eye in his beer, Mr. Twit decided he would put a frog in Mrs. Twit's bed. He caught a big one down by the pond and carried it secretly in a box. Mrs. Twit came back and climbed into her bed and put out the light. She lay there in the dark, scratching her tummy. Her tummy was itching. Then all at once, she felt something cold and slimy crawling over her feet. She screamed. "Help!" screamed Mrs. Twit, bouncing about. "There's something in my bed! I bet it's that giant skilly wiggler I saw on the floor just now," Mr. Twit said. "That what?" "It's got teeth like screwdrivers," Mr. Twit said. "Help!" screamed Mrs. Twit. "Save me, it's all over my feet. It'll bite off your toes." Mr. Twit, to pay back for the glass eye in his beer, thought of a trick that would really scare Mrs. Twit out of her wits. So, he thought of a trick and then immediately came up with one. It was about a frog. He caught one in the pond. He took the frog with him and put the frog underneath Mrs. Twit's mattress. Mrs. Twit cried out, What is it? What is tickling me?" Then Mr. Twit said, "It's probably the giant skilly wiggler, which I saw under the bed." "The what?" screamed Mrs. Twit. "The giant skilly wiggler. It'll bite off your toes. It's got teeth like screwdrivers." Mrs. Twit fainted. And then, when she fainted, Mr. Twit poured some water on her head to revive her. The frog saw the water and jumped. The frog was very happy. As you know, frogs love water. So this one was having quite a good time. The frog jumped on Mrs. Twit's head. Then Mrs. Twit, when she saw the frog, she screamed. She ran away from the bed and spent the night in the living room. Frog slept in her bed. Quite a nasty trick. There are a lot of other tricks in this book, but you have to read them for yourself. Can I tell all these tricks to you? No, it wouldn't be good. You wouldn't find them a surprise when you read this book. Let me describe them, how they looked. Mr. Twits was a very bearded man, and his beard was super dirty. And his beard was not like the smooth beard like hair we see normally in people's beards, but it was quite spiky. And Mrs. Twits looked like the ugliest woman ever imagined. Look at her photo. This is how she looked like. As soon as she grew up, ugliness kept showing on her face because she had ugly thoughts that showed upon her face. There are a lot of tricks in this book, and you must read this book. And I have not told you yet what the story was. The story is about Mr. Twit and Mrs. Twit and some monkeys. Mr. Twit and Mrs. Twit wanted to open a circus called the Upside Down Circus, and really upside down. It means everything has to be upside down. Play football upside down, eat upside down, stand upside down, even sleep upside down. To get revenge on the couple, and they wanted them to be upside down as well as them. So they thought of a deviously good plan, and this is what the story is about. Okay, as you know, in every Roald Dahl book, there's one last word invented by Roald Dahl himself. Let me read it. That's it. The end of the book. Here's one last word invented by Roald Dahl himself. Make sure you keep it safe. Skillywiggler. Noun, a small creature with big, sharp teeth. Roald Dahl. Thank you for watching my video, and I hope you liked my video, and I hope my description was fine of this book. Okay, bye!